Hey,
Well, happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
I did,
Happy
that was not
birthday.
on purpose, by the way. That was not like a job. I've kept it hidden from everyone today.
I was like, okay.
but
I don't
now we
do-
and
I-
now we
Okay.
know, and so do the listeners.
Oh God, that's right.
Well, you remember he has editing power.
Oh, that's right. I do have editing powers.
He could make it your birthday if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Wish me
Happy birthday, Commissioner.
I'm gonna make it impossible for you to edit around. I'm just gonna sing one word every like 10-15 minutes. Happy.
Oh God, I hate you so much. Well, I hope everyone's doing well. With me tonight, I've got, as always, Commish, permanent squatters Beth and Pit Girl, and semi-permanent guest host Kevin. Kevin, how are you, sir?
Doing good. I spent the last couple hours working on a project that I came up with in the Discord the other day, but created a vector map of the center of mass of the AAC weighted by enrollment and
Love
just
it.
posted that in the chat. It's weirdly beautiful, and if you join our Discord, you will know what I'm talking about.
Pit Girl, how are you?
I am good. I apologize if you see me squinting a lot during the podcast because I do not currently have my glasses.
Do you need some glasses?
No, I can see. It's just everything's slightly fuzzy. I'm only a little bit nearsighted, and I also have a mild astigmatism. So, like, I can see well enough, but it's also just bad enough that I'm like, eh. So it's fine. Everything's fine.
Not 2015 like Commission his laser vision.
No, whatever no, not the opposite of that, but like somewhere towards the opposite of that.
Mine is the opposite of that. I'm like 2200 or whatever, something really bad.
Woof. Yeah, no, mine is very much not even close to that bad. I do not technically have to wear my glasses to drive, but I do because I like being able to read the signs from a distance.
Beth, how are you?
You should see if we can switch glasses. Birthday.
So annoying to cut this. Commish, how are you?
Oh, great! It's Tuesday. It's I have a lot of stuff coming up this weekend. There is going to be a ton of family coming into town, and it's to that point of the visit, which they'll be here Friday, that everybody wants to know what we're doing at every second of the day. It's a bunch of phone calls. It's a bunch of hi, aunt, or hey, we haven't like physically talked, even though we shared photos of the baby and whatnot. But yeah, let's make plans and let's drive an hour outside of town to go see a rodeo when it's 100 degrees. Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah, basically. And then there's the phone calls like, was I invited? I don't know if I was invited. I'm like, yes, you were invited, for God's sakes. So yeah, I've been dealing with that along with work just being an incredible mess and just everything's on fire. So just bring it on to the personal life and come on to the pod, and the commish can just talk it out and talk about some fun stuff tonight.
Let's start with some NFL news.
All right.
One specific bit of NFL news.
Wait. Hold on. You can't say NFL if you're going to be an NFL podcaster. You have to say the National Football League.
The National Football League.
There you go.
Today, the National Football League Twitter account said, frick it, let's post a whole game. And they did. And the game they posted was Super Bowl 51.
2.
That is Patriots Falcons of 28-3 fame. And as of 30 minutes ago, they deleted that tweet.
No.
I saw it.
The
world saw it.
We all saw it.
We all saw.
Cowards.
And
absolute cowards.
That's so...
Twitter is super broken right now, as an aside.
Oh, good. Hey, fun.
How broken?
I'm scrolling I was swiping around so I could see my timeline in a half a window, and the tweets just go over the menu or under the menu bar. Hang on, I will take a picture and put it in the Discord.
Oh, please do.
For everyone to be able to see. It's beautiful. That is very broken. Behold.
Ooh, fun. It's all over the place.
All of the Twitter is happening at once.
Be not afraid.
Biblically accurate Twitter.
Yes, the National Football League decided to post an entire full game on their Twitter timeline because they got the gold check and needed to use it. And of all the games they chose to put on there, it was that one. And Falcons fans just screaming murder in the timeline. Patriots fans being happy, Saints fans being very happy. It was a weird bunch of people.
You know, being a Saints fan, I enjoy the 28-3. That's great. The Falcons lost the game. They blew like the biggest lead ever in the Super Bowl. That's fantastic. But I have reached a point where I have moved past that as a Saints fan. I can't do that anymore.
Enlightened States
we've
fan.
gotten hosed by living that Schadenfreude of celebrating the Falcons losing the Super Bowl to somebody else. Like, we didn't beat them. Okay? Like, it's the Patriots. Why are we celebrating a Patriots win? We can stop. It's done. We had the Minneapolis Miracle on us the year after that. Then we had the New Orleans Snow Call the year after that. Then, again, we lost it walk-off touchdown to Kirk Cousins and the Vikings the year after that. We're done. The exercise the demons. Stop talking about 28-3. Let's move on.
Wow, this is really awful. I tried to use the Google Docs like AI thing to write a haiku about Super Bowl 51, and the fucking like syllable counts are wrong. That's annoying. This doesn't count. Tom Brady wins again. That's 6. 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. 8. The Patriots are champions. 8. Not it, Google.
Maybe taking the Cards Against Humanity perspective on haikus.
See, I always tried to actually get a real 575.
I mean, if you do that, you win, I think. But also, that requires you to have the cards that allow you to do that.
It's true.
It's the same as like the My Country 'Tis of Thee one, Sweet Land of Blank.
Oh yeah. Sweet
My
Land.
dad put down poverty the one time and won
Easily.
2 midgets shitting into a bucket. Always my trap card.
I really love the part where, I go off on a little rant about like just forgetting the score. And then you immediately go, this is awful. Because that was the cut. I'm like, okay, thank you for, but just leave that in there just to be like, oh, that was a horrible take. So I appreciate that. Oh, I said my real name.
Oh,
We gotta bleep
I'll
that.
bleep it out.
Sorry.
Commissioner Freeze, as we call him.
I just, given how often our account is tweeting 13-9, it's hard for me to find sympathy.
It's never me. My favorite
That
part
one was-
about,
that was me.
all of this is
Yeah,
that it's
I know.
never me. I'm just in the walls now.
It's because someone
and then I was giving myself a little Twitter vacation. I'm like, oh, I got tagged. I wonder what I got tagged in.
Okay,
Great.
the only 13-9 tweet I've ever done from the account was the scheduled one for 139 minutes before the Backyard Brawl kicked off last year.
Appreciated.
I can't.
the
I've never tweeted a 13-9 tweet.
surprise.
Surprise.
I don't think I've ever
I-
tweeted one from the committee account either.
Because someone noticed that it happened to be that I had sent it happened to be that the tweet that I sent about the NFL posting this game was 28. The NFL tweet was 28 minutes ago, and my tweet was 3 minutes ago, and it lined up perfectly. And I said, well, at least it's not 13-9.
Yeah.
And the West Virginia fans came in and were like, I was having a great day. I was not even thinking about this. And then I fell to the floor crying. This is what you did to me.
It'll do it to you.
Speaking of bullying the internet, I made a graphic this last weekend.
Let's you told the internet, let's kick some ice.
I did. I was ready for this. I said that last year I did one randomly, which I don't like to do anymore. Like I said, I don't do random things anymore. Last year I randomly selected the coach order. This year we had a purpose, and gonna blame Kamish on this because he's the one that suggested birthdays. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was me.
I think you
do
gave.
we have to go back to the chat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see.
Checking the tape.
Check the
Yeah,
tape.
no, I'm pretty sure this was mine.
It was we decided to put the coaches of the SEC in order by their birthdays. And then I realized, if you start in October, it's really funny.
This
Because
was
it puts
originally
Jimbo-
Beth's idea.
Okay, well, shit.
Yeah.
Always keep a receipt.
And
yeah,
so
no, this felt like one of mine.
it starts with Jimbo, and then Brian, Kelly, and then Nick Saban. And that's a great order. And it ends with Hugh Freeze. That's good too. It puts Kirby underneath Vanderbilt, which is good. Like there's lots of good stuff in here. It puts Mike, which Stoops is it in Kentucky? Mark,
Yeah.
whatever.
March.
The Kentucky Stoops. It puts him second to last, And I made this list and I hid in there, not hid. It's pretty clear, okay? It's in gray font on gray, but it's pretty clear.
You did a Penn State all the Super Bowls except for 5.
I did. And I spread it out far enough like they did so that just don't really catch on the first search, the first scan. And we had some people that had opinions about this commish, didn't we?
Yeah, there was a few folks. There was a few people yelling at us, and we got to be called, we're clickbaity. We are clickbaiting. And I'm like,
we're not real football. Watch some football,
watch the
Sickles
football,
committee.
and
You guys obviously don't watch
you guys
football.
don't watch football. I'm like, that's all we do. We're talking about the European League of Football right now, and Canadian Football League. That's all we do is watch football. We watch it all. Yeah, the thing that gets me at this, like, the name of our account is the Sickos Committee.
Yes.
Like, it's at the top. That's the name of our account. At the very top of the ranking, there's 2 Sickos guys up there that says Sickos on the top of it, right? And then it says ranking SEC coaches. Big. All right, fine. We do the Penn State small text thing. That's great. We do that. I made you even darken that because you even had it lighter.
Originally, it was much lighter.
You had it lighter than that. I was like, darken it a little bit. He's like, okay, that's enough. I'm like, no, I wanted more, but that's fine. But I'm like, you're going to endure the yelling here. You're going to go ahead and go through this. You're going to do it. You're going to do the yelling and the quote tweeting. And the fun part is like, really sometimes on these accounts where if they don't follow us, we don't see the notifications.
Yeah.
So we have the account set up that way most of the time. If they don't follow us, we don't see the notifications unless we follow them, essentially. So, like, people just yelling into the void at this. We found a lot of angry Kentucky fans, which...
There were so many angry... That wasn't the one I was expecting.
I wasn't expecting a lot of angry...
So many angry... Oh, my God.
I didn't know that angry Kentucky football fans were a thing.
There's dozens of them. Dozens!
Listen, if you're going to be that angry during basketball season, it's important to have a solid warm-up. Happy.
God damn it.
Birthday.
It's so good. Between that and then some of the blue checks just like coming for it. And then now I don't know what it was, but it felt like everyone who had a super shitty opinion about this or refused to like see a joke in this also had some tweets being like, January 6th was a great job. I don't know what the connection is, but it always seems that way. Not our followers. Our followers are lovely.
No, that's it. It's when we look in the quote tweets and we know that they're not following us. We don't see that.
Yep.
And then I got to the point where we would just, you're just going to get nothing but notifications on this because I don't even know where we're at right now. You said 1.1 million views of this tweet, which we know that's not a real number, but whatever.
No.
I've been rate limited so many times just trying to see all of the replies to this.
1.1 million views. Oh, Twitter asks if I want to promote this tweet. Why? Why Twitter? I think I might.
I don't have funds set up to the account, so you can't do it. So there you go. Yeah, I don't have that set up.
Is it not our official policy not to give Twitter money?
That is true.
We're not going to do that.
But what? 100 retweets, 152 quote tweets, 2,600 likes, 29 bookmarks. Mwah.
This is not a disincentive for future behavior,
That's the worst part, guys. That's the worst part, is that this does not disincentivize behavior. I mean, Hugh Freeze's last one here, some dude was like, I can't wait till Hugh gets in their comments and tells him what's what.
And what? What did you say to that?
What just happened to the show, Doc?
It's fine. I'm fixing it.
It's redacted.
Dude, what's all the stuff redacted here?
I'm sorry.
The whole thing's redacted. All of my notes. How'd you redact everything?
It's
the girl's playing
classified.
Redactyl.
No,
It's classified.
So she's playing Redactyl. Love it.
No, it's this is basically a Hugh Freeze honeypot.
I mean,
Oh, God damn it, Jordan.
We've made a Hugh Freeze honeypot here.
So I think the way that Hugh Freeze can only direct message us is if we follow him, which we don't.
Which we absolutely should now.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. I mean, like, Hugh Freeze being ranked last by the birthdays. It's clearly by birthdays. And I've
birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday to Jordan. So yeah, definitely. Really, it's when Jordan tweeted this, I was like, okay, we're getting some people, like, we're not getting that many like people that not catching the joke. But the only problem is when the tweet breaks contain of our followers, which is
We're approaching 100,000, and whenever one of our tweets gets above like 60 or 70, that's when I can tell it's hit too far out.
Yeah.
And into the world, and we just get so much bad shit.
The sickos committee like broke contain.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that started following us, A&M fans, and really they loved the ranking because Jimbo Fisher was number 1 and it was misspelled, which was a happy accident.
That was a happy accident.
That's right.
I am the Bob Ross of shitty graphics, and that was my happy little accident.
We got people wondering what the hell the Vanderbilt logo was, which was something we made like randomly, which you put, and then you threw in LeChonk.
That was when they
Pokemon.
updated their logo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh,
that
yeah.
was a spoof on their new logo.
Yeah.
And I made the LeChonk thing last summer when
Yes.
Scarlet and Violet released their first set of Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was.
To be fair,
it was just
LeChonk
great.
is by far the most Arkansas Pokemon.
For sure.
Oh, well, everyone's asking me to do like Totodile in Florida colors now.
Mhm.
And Snubble in Georgia colors. And I might just have to do that. I'm just very happy that this happened. I'm not going to keep doing this. No one worry. Pardon me. Notifications are safe. It's fine. But just to do this once a year makes me realize how easy that kind of engagement is. And again, does not disincentivize someone who likes to be liked and likes to be yelled at. I have a humiliation fetish, and you're just feeding into it, guys. Thank you.
We could tell when you did that crazy SEC thing, you were getting off on the cringe of that. You were just loving how bad.
Oh,
that,
the crimes against punning
Yes.
from a
Oh,
couple weeks
God.
ago.
That was that a couple weeks ago? That was literally last week.
No, it was 2 episodes,
episodes
ago.
ago,
'Cause I was
yes.
listening to it last weekend. It was,
Yeah.
Linear
Last
time.
Tuesday's
as
I got another one
always.
I'm working. I got one I'm working on,
Oh,
guys.
not
No.
because I was angry about the Vanderbilt pun, and it only got worse.
Got a lot worse. That one was okay.
That was a hostage situation. 2.
I think the fact that you're staying in the same key is also impressive. You haven't drifted keys, and that's impressive.
That's talent
see,
right there.
Now I'm scared.
That's the real thing is that at the end, Jordan should clip them all out and edit them together.
No.
Yes. Okay. You know what? Pit Girl? You are correct. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, beautiful. The other fun little bit of trolling that happened this weekend was by our good friend Stephen Godfrey at 38 Godfrey. Heisman Trophy has a new logo, and they post it, and Godfrey goes, "Wow, I love the new Heisman Trophy logo," and posts a picture of Reggie Bush.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, they did.
And then Heisman Trophy social media, who I guess doesn't know who Reggie Bush is, because he's persona non grata around there, goes,
Oh,
"Thanks.
he's redacted.
We're so glad to hear you like our new logo."
Do we think
Beautiful.
the social media intern was alive during Reggie Bush's?
Don't you do that. Don't you do that to me.
Don't think so.
Okay, so Reggie Bush won it in 2005. That's
Mhm.
18 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
if the social media intern is 22, they were 4 when Reggie
So
won
they
the
were
Heisman.
not a conscious human being.
I couldn't tell you who won the Heisman Trophy in '88.
Was
Say
it,
it.
was it? No, 87 was Tim Brown.
88 Heisman.
It wasn't Major Harris, and I'm still mad about it.
It was Barry Sanders. Okay, I should know that one.
Very, yeah.
Yeah,
I should know
I know
Barry.
nothing. I was 4 in 1999. I know nothing about the 1999 Heisman Trophy winner.
Major Harris came in 5th.
1999 Heisman.
That was
It wasn't Eric Crouch. That was 2000. Was that Ricky? Ricky Williams? Or
Was
no,
Ron-
he was
I feel
99.
like that
Ron
Ron
Dane
Dane.
was 99. That's right. Ricky was 98. Ron Dane 99. Eric Crouch 2000. I think.
so. Anyways, that was also another bit of beautiful trolling.
We did
Congrats,
bevel that
Godfrey.
logo, and that came out
You did?
really good.
It did look good.
I liked that bevel. That was a really, really good. It made it. I made it a little bit antique looking too. So like bronzed. It came out fantastic.
The new FDU logo also beveled very well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Don't talk about that to our Purdue Discord members. They did not like seeing that logo again.
Sorry, Travis.
I also someone who followed us had a great picture of the new sword logo stabbing Purdue Pete, and I did retweet that as Sic Semper Petrus, which I thought was a very very niche joke there. I appreciate.
Did someone in the Discord just wish you happy birthday in Dutch?
I think so.
Yes?
Yeah,
General Pants did, yes.
that's right.
Well, we do have one bit of big news this week.
Oh yeah.
And that is, after the conversation we had Sunday, Fitz got fired by Northwestern.
Took him fucking long enough.
That's where I'm at for this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Hit Girl, do you want to give the bad news, the bad side of this?
Oh, yes. The bad news on this is that the news dropped a few hours ago that the rest of the football staff will be staying on for the rest of the season. Which, okay, sure, you're not going to be able to make a hire in July. I get it. But this is not going to solve the problem, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're every bit as responsible as he was for this.
Mhm.
So
It is in their walls.
Mhm.
This stuff, this is much like I'm going to make a kind of a glib joke here. Much like the staff couch at Stanford, it is there. And it will keep spreading if you don't fucking rip this thing out entirely. You have to get rid of people. I know that they've kept on, I can't remember his name right now. I'll insert it if I can. Their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think it's David Braun.
Okay. And he was at South Dakota State or North Dakota State?
I'm looking it up.
And he's new. So, out of
Yes.
anybody here, new guy.
Putting him in charge was the correct.
Yeah.
That's the best of the moves.
Yeah, there was two
Right.
new coordinators that they had, I believe. Our one of our committee members, big Northwestern fan, Dr. Garage. We were debating about who they could possibly get for an interim. He indicated that the two new coordinators that he had, David Braun, he's from North Dakota State.
There we go.
So he's the one that did that. They're going to keep the staff on. The thing about the staff is that they had another new coordinator, so it's not all bad. I believe they got a brand new offensive coordinator too. After the season, they went 1-11 because definitely 1-11. That's great. Not winning a game in America, you definitely want to keep the coach on after that. Anyway, one thing is just I really miss Dennis Green, Coach Dennis Green. He was a Northwestern coach in the early '80s, NFL coach. If he was alive today, rest in peace, I feel like he would have been the perfect person to take this interim job and kind of get Northwestern back on track, because when he took it over in the early '80s, the program was really nothing, and he won Big Ten Coach of the Year at like 3-8, and I think it was like '82, which is incredible for to know where Northwestern was and to get something like that. I know that I wish he was still with us. He would have been probably the perfect person to take over this as an interim. I know they mentioned something about Lovie Smith possibly taking over. It'd have been kind of cool to see Lovie coach Northwestern and then beat Illinois, which would have been, fun from a sicko's perspective, a sicko's committee perspective.
I saw like David Shaw's name get rolled around too. I think I'm not okay with them keeping the staff on for lots of reasons.
Yeah,
but I think that the person who they put in charge is probably your best bet at some semblance of stability in the program right now. That's the only thing I can think of for that.
I mean, this is something that never really occurs. It's July. Camp is about to start.
Mm-hmm.
Their season starts. Camp is about to start in a week or so, right? Or two?
Pretty close.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think Northwestern had a shot to poach anybody, which I don't think anybody would, in their right mind, would leave and then go take this job right now anyway, because it's a horrible position, and it's basically, the situation reminds me of coming back home after Hurricane Katrina. I'm going to put it this way, Katrina terms. You come home and your roof is torn off. The entire building itself, there's mold everywhere, and you have to completely gut everything. All the drywall's got to go. Everything's got to go down to the studs. You may even need to replace the studs. It's a complete gut job because, I mean, he's been there since what? I mean, he was a coach, 2006? And he's been a player. He was a player in the 90s. So, I mean, I don't know if something like this was going on, because the coach that coached him in the 90s was not necessarily the best himself. Was that Gary Barnett? He had some issues in Colorado also. So,
I mean, he had been so Pat Fitzgerald had been as a coach in some capacity at Northwestern since 2001.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
So we're talking 2 decades worth of there.
Yeah.
And that's
I mean, for the players that that are new and did not participate and did not conduct this stuff.
Can Northwestern players transfer now? Do they get a free transfer off this?
The portal is closed, I believe.
But because they had a head coach change.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
But who would take them now if they were to transfer? They
there's
simply
lots
would
of places.
they'd have to sit out.
That was actually something that was a topic of conversation in one of the other channels in our Discord a couple days ago, because I'm sure there are players who would like to transfer, but if you're a team, how do you distinguish between players that were complicit, right?
Right.
And there's no way of knowing. And it's also more complicated than perpetrators and victims, because this was clearly, again, a culture of violence where folks were more than likely both.
Sorry, Chris Vanini says that, by the way, Northwestern players are allowed to go into the transfer portal over the next 30 days because of a head coaching change.
Okay. So
that's the thing, is like schools are about to just do their camps. So it's just, do you want to risk that and hope to catch on with the school? Which is kind of a weird, it puts them in a horrible limbo too. And it's just not a good situation from top to bottom. It's not great at all. It's really, really, really not ideal. And the thing that gets me about this situation is the most is that their whole thing as a program at Northwestern was the culture. That was it.
Yeah.
That's what they hung their hat on.
Stop me if you've heard this before.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly right.
I'm not going to say it, but we're all thinking it.
Yep. Well, and here's the thing. We are just 2 years removed from Northwestern having to fire an AD that they had hired what felt like 10 minutes before because of a mishandling of sexual misconduct and racist stuff in the cheerleading program.
I'd completely forgotten about that.
Someone who had been there forever as an assistant AD.
You're right.
Yeah.
How about
like,
that?
Yeah, like this is so far in the walls, and we're here because we didn't take this seriously at any point. And now we are responding to it by doing the absolute minimum that we can do to make it go away. Again.
One thing I don't
We
get,
don't learn.
another thing I don't get is if the report is the same, what you saw on Friday, and you thought a 2-week suspension was good enough, and then nothing changed over the weekend except Twitter just giving you crap all weekend long, and then you change your mind and do that, something's wrong there. They have not had a press conference to discuss this, which, again, they're a private school. They don't have to abide by the same public school rules. It's really, 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 really shitty behavior. I don't have any, like, I'm trying to sound very intelligent and use big words, but this is pretty fucked up. I mean, it's a horrible situation. The culture of hazing is one where you have to do, like weird initiation things, or like, it's just, look, I know it's locker room behavior, which is whatever, you're in the locker room, you're whatever, it doesn't matter. It's crap. It's not a priority. Like, you could do something else, like make somebody do like a trust fall or something.
There is team building for a reason. This exists.
Yeah.
Make you guys go to a freaking escape room house or something in Chicago and try to work out getting out there as a team. Like, making do puzzles or some shit. You don't need to do some weird shit by the showers.
You don't need to torture someone.
This doesn't actually build a team.
No.
I also just want to jump back real quick to what Kamish was saying about Northwestern not doing anything until it became public. Northwestern, as Kamish touched on, is a private institution. It is very clear, based off of their actions, that there was a faction of people within Northwestern that thought that they could sweep this under the rug and get away with it, in part because there is no organization that can hold Northwestern accountable except for the fabulous folks at the Daily Northwestern.
Yep.
And
hell of a journalism department you guys got
shout
going.
out to the students who are journalists. I know there was somebody in the mention like, don't call them a student journalist. I'm like, I kind of feel like.
Oh, did you see where that person was from?
No, I didn't.
Are they a Medill grad?
No, Louisiana Lafayette, baby.
Okay,
Ayo.
so again, he was a Raging Cajun, which again, more credence to the ULM side of things. So what I want to say is again, if you're a journalist who is also a student, you're staying up to like 2:30 in the morning, probably partying your ass off, and then up at like 6 a.m. or maybe you're staying up to 2:30 to catch a deadline in the morning to do a deadline or some shit, and then waking your ass up for an 8 a.m. class. More props to them. I mean, it's hard, period. So it's not an insult to call you a student journalist. We just appreciate the work that they did. I don't care what the name is or not, or whatever. Just the Daily Northwestern, shout out, y'all did a great job. I know we give y'all crap.
Absolutely.
I know we give y'all crap, but like as a Medill grad,
I mean, this is very similar to when Auburn hired Hugh Freeze, where all of the usual suspects are showing their whole asses on Twitter right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
But DM us, Hugh. Talk to us, Hugh.
Ugh.
DM us. I got this pot of honey. I got this pot of honey for you.
No,
Stop.
no.
For you, Hugh Bear. Here we go.
I'm gonna get the no.
Hugh Bear is so unpleasant. Oh my goodness.
Bear.
No,
Winnie the
absolutely
Hugh.
not.
Winnie the Hugh.
I'm in hell.
Yep. Yep.
You are not alone.
Just gonna walk directly out a window.
I'm in hell and you're Satan.
It's not the first time I've been accused of that, so there you go. Thank you. To take something a little lighter, on Twitter today, not Twitter, sorry, on Reddit today,
on a latter note,
a great post. This was on RCFB, I believe, from Wardam Researcher. What's an amusing rumor you heard about a head coach you've heard? And he responded, mine is a rumor that Brian Harsin stole a vehicle from Auburn's athletic department. It was loaned to him as part of the contract, but he never returned it when he was fired like he was required. He drove it back to his home in Idaho, then refused to give it back when Auburn told him to. Because of this, an intern was flown there with a spare key and drove it out of his driveway all the way back to Auburn.
I am obsessed with this. I have been able to think about nothing else all afternoon.
That's so good.
the Brian.
First of all, huge shout out to Message Board Geniuses for bringing this to our attention.
Yes.
But also, as the 22-year-old who just started with the athletic department at Auburn, this is the best day of your life. Right?
Yes.
Where you get handed a spare key and a plane ticket and said, go fly to Idaho and drive the car out of your former boss's driveway and have a road trip across the country.
Yeah, what's the per diem on this look like? That's the and what's the deadline? That's what I want to know. Like, do you as the intern have a little bit of ability to like detour and go see some cool shit on your way back?
So I mapped this out. I mapped this entire drive out. So he has to go from Boise to Auburn. And so just mapping it out, it says it's 1 day, 8 hours without any tolls if you wanted to go there. Apparently this route is littered with radar detectors though. So you gotta go to speed limit, take your time, go the speed limit. You'll be fine. Stretch it out as far as possible. So it's about a 32 to 33 hour drive. I mapped this out, which is great. If you're the analyst that has to go get the car back from Brian Harsin, I don't think it's a stolen car. It's more like, go fuck yourself. Come get it if you want it. Basically, thing for Brian Harsin to Auburn. They'll probably fly out to Boise and then they'll get a taxi, which I'm imagining this. They'll get a taxi to Brian Harsin's house from the Boise International Airport. Then they'll have to make the 30 some odd hour drive. The rules essentially, which we don't know if Auburn essentially follows rules, but the maximum you're allowed to drive in a day is supposed to be 11 hours. At 33 hours, do that.
That's three full
days of driving.
So four, but we're really saying 4.
So
or 5.
So depending on that, if you want to do a 3-day drive, you could do that. But the main thing, from what I'm seeing here, is he's got a good chance, or he or she, it could be a she, again, to go pick up the Harsin car. Where in the world is Brian Harsin's car? I think we made a graphic in the past, like where in the world Brian Harsin was.
I like the idea that Carmen Sandiego stole Brian Harsin's 2017 Ford Focus.
I don't even know what he's driving. It's got to be some just Chevy Malibu fully loaded or something. No idea. Or maybe it could be a Benz. Who knows? I don't know what type of money Auburn's dropping in coach cars.
Now I want to make. I want to make Where's Waldo, but full of coaches.
See, I'm working on heist movie things here. Trying to come up with Aubie's 11. What is the name of this movie?
Also, it has to be a truck, right? Like, there's no way that this is not some sort of pickup truck. Or like a Tahoe, even though that's
Is it
Georgia's
a
bit.
truck or is it a truck?
It's a truck.
I found the Brian Harson graphic. I just put it in the chat.
There we go.
The
Where in the world is
Rockapella.
Brian Hart? Hit it, Rockapella.
Get it, Rockabye. Ooh, wow.
Happy.
God, I love that show. I love that. That was probably one of my favorite shows growing up.
It was
just
one of my
watching.
favorite
It was
shows, too.
Great. I've planned out the fun trip for the intern that had to go get the car from Brian Harson. You could take the trip if you want to do it. You can go Boise to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Ooh.
Stop in Cheyenne. Then you go Cheyenne to either Omaha or Kansas City. So you could choose one, Omaha or Kansas City. Go from there. Then you can go from either Omaha or KC to Memphis. And then your final leg of the trip, Memphis to Auburn. So you got a couple of good spots you can do. You would be able to just go across some good stuff in Wyoming. There's really not going to be anything there. You could even take a stop in Salt Lake City because the route from Boise goes through Salt Lake, and then you're just straight across like the bottom part of Wyoming across the Rocky Mountains to Cheyenne.
Like it.
And then if you don't want to drive over the endless nothing of Nebraska, whatever, and you want to do that, you could drop down through like Kansas and then drop down to Oklahoma and hit Oklahoma City instead. That's another option. And then still do the Memphis thing, and then Memphis to Auburn, which is not that far at all. A nice little last leg home if you want to do it that way. So that could be your trip.
And if you drop down after you go to Cheyenne, you can go to Denver. That would be the move for me personally.
Denver's an option too.
So the total distance on this that you just posted is 2,178 miles, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
I have calculated the total distance that the University of Florida football team traveled to all of their away games last year. Would you like to play an over-under?
Oh my God.
Under.
Oh.
Way under.
The University
Yeah.
of Florida. Okay,
Under.
so they had Utah come to them
Mhm.
last
Yes.
year. Okay, this.
And I'm not including the bowl game.
Okay, the bowl game was in
The
Vegas.
bowl game was Vegas.
Okay, so that's
so
still
that alone goes over
regular
it.
season Florida. All right,
Under.
I'm trying to think. Hold on. So
I'm mashing the under.
so Jacksonville, Gainesville is like about 100 miles. That's nothing. They went to Nashville and lost to Vandy. I just wanted to
It's not
mention
that
that
far.
again. I just wanted to mention that again out loud because Florida lost to Vandy last year.
On purpose.
Well, not on purpose. I don't think they went on purpose, but you know the
on purpose for Vandy.
vaunted Vandy offense, and you know they stormed the field in the most polite way ever. They gently came down the stairwells, and still
Oh, it was a very Notre Dame
still-
field storming.
and still
Clark,
got
Clark
fined.
Lee was right at home.
They
still got
they
fined.
matriculated onto the gridiron.
Yes. Yeah.
They still got fined $250,000 for that too. It was great.
Matriculation is expensive.
It is. So I
And
don't
the
know
SEC hates fun.
if Florida went to Kentucky last year, or did Kentucky come to them? That's because that's probably one of their longest trips. Florida played LSU last year, which is Baton Rouge. That's not too far. What was the total mileage again?
2178 is your trip that you had from Boise to Auburn.
Oh, that's going to be very close. That's a good number. That is a very good number.
Birthday.
I'm going to have to say,
I'm gonna mash
gonna
them all together.
let's go under.
All right, so we have under from Beth, under from Kamish. This is Florida under 2178.
Mhm. Yeah, under. Smashing the under.
Pit Girls under as well.
I'm under too.
Oh,
Under.
Okay. It is over.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh no.
they went to Columbia. Shit.
It's very close. No, they didn't. It was College Station.
Ah,
shit.
damn.
The Texas trip.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Dang.
College Station was almost like 40% of their total travel. It was very close. 2,307
Oh,
miles.
just
Damn.
like only like 400 miles difference. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I forgot they played A&M, and they beat A&M too, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like 120 miles different from.
They beat A&M too, didn't they?
I believe so. But
They
number one
did
coach,
beat A&M.
number one coach Jimbo Fisher, according to my standards.
Jimbo Bobby Fisher, you know, the spelling of the last name. Which is again what Bob Ross says, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents.
Excellent.
That's right.
Sorry.
The last college sportsy thing I want to talk about is Bob Huggins, the basketball coach at West Virginia, who got fired or resigned. He resigned.
Resign.
Then decided he did not resign. And the General Counsel of West Virginia said, I think you really did.
This is one of the best letters I have read in a long while. It's just tremendous work.
Yeah, we can't read the whole thing on the air because it's 4 pages long. It's beautiful.
You should read
It is the most comprehensive and polite but vicious per my last
That
email.
second paragraph is the most passive aggressive thing I think I've ever read.
I'm
It is
the third-
incredible.
Like, for me, like the opening of the third paragraph going into the bulleted list where they said, I would again encourage you to do appropriate due diligence before asserting a position that is clearly contrary to the documented evidence.
Oh my God.
To aid you in this endeavor,
God.
note the following.
saving-
like,
God.
just
Hey,
Saving that for the next time I need to send a per my last
do you
email.
know?
good.
Do you know?
God.
That sentence instead.
Do you know what happened after that was sent?
What?
No.
His counsel resigned. Bob Huggins' counsel resigned. just saying
When you
that.
burn them so bad, they
It's
fucking
like, he's like, I'm
leave.
out. It's just like, I'm done. But the thing that gets me about this Huggins
God, he
situation,
deleted his account and left Twitter.
the Huggins situation, he told players to their face
Yes.
that he wasn't going to coach them and he's resigning.
Mhm.
This
Also,
somebody-
the fact that he allegedly resigned via his wife's email because he doesn't email.
Can't foil my wife's email. I am
Bob
going to-
Huggins' private email server scandal? Is that what I'm hearing?
Ooh.
Oh
Mhm.
my God.
What does a West Virginia email server look like, and why is it run by Moonshine? it's Diesel and Moonshine at the same time, and we can't figure out why. Why does this server have a carburetor?
that's the way Lycos is still going.
My GeoCity Sailor Moon fan page is still being run somewhere in West Virginia.
And now I've got Savage Garden in my head. This is going to make the key signature more complicated.
Oh, yes. If you guys have not read this, I really do recommend you read this because it is a thoroughly it's not overly legal. Like you read some court documents, I don't get this. No, this is just the most polite way to say per my previous email, and just destroying something.
No, it's per your last.
Oh yeah,
email.
sorry. Yes.
Oh, can we hop in real quick? I just threw something in the chat. I forgot to mention about this.
What I want you... Oh, sorry.
No, keep talking about Bob Huggins. You're fine.
I want you to look right below the date line. What is the very first thing in all caps underlined in this letter?
Via email.
Yeah, email.
Yup. It is just shade from beginning to end. It is tremendous.
Oh, we're at that point in the MLB draft now where they're just drafting anyone, right? Because in the MLB draft, you can just start like drafting like anyone, and so
I really enjoy that he's very clearly throwing a football there.
Oh yes.
So, like, it's like we photoshopped the baseball on. This is beautiful.
Yes.
This is DJ Uyagalele.
Is it DJ Uwe Angalele?
I'm gonna learn
that
eventually.
sounds
Uyangalele.
Uwe Angalele.
Uyangalele.
And
There we go.
so
Angalele.
the Oregon State football player is here, photoshopped throwing a baseball because the Dodgers picked him up in round 20 as pick 610.
Yes.
MLB, we got to tighten this up.
Call him DJ Uyaga LA.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yo.
Oh, I think you need to tweet that.
No making fun of his half. We are not allowed to make fun of his half a seam fastball.
Okay, let's not even talk about the clearly throwing a football because that grip.
I mean, also, there's the fact that he is in a football uniform.
Yes, and his arm is that high, and
That is
And
also
the shadow doesn't match.
Look at his feet. No one does all of that.
Well, and I assume that the football uniform itself is also photoshopped because he hasn't actually taken the field for Oregon State yet.
Oh, that's right.
So
Yes.
this is definitely a Photoshop of him at Clemson.
Wait, is this a bulk? Is this what a bulk is? Sorry, it's a.
he's also behind home plate. Like, where is he throwing this ball?
Yeeting it into the stands.
We remember this. It's a balk. Yeah, not a bulk. It's a balk, right? I got that.
Yes, like a
Cool.
chicken.
Yeah,
Bach.
like a chicken.
Yeah.
Bach.
Now you're losing key. You're losing the key, and this is gonna be great when I smash it together. Let's plug some things before we get on to our next bit. First off, please join the Patreon, join the Discord for $5 a month. You can come and yell at me about my bad opinions. You can talk to us about what we should make into graphics. You can come up with your own crazy ideas to give us so we can make graphics for you. We're happy to do that. Right now, Beth and I are going to plot together our Patreon add-on of talking shit about people's fight songs. Kamish is going to have Kamish's knowledge corner that I'm going to start calling it.
He's still trying to work another letter in there, and
I am.
I'm not appreciating that. So
also visit our merch store, sickos-committee.sellfy.store. We beveled a fucking shirt. You shouldn't bevel a shirt, but we did because we go the extra length.
you wouldn't.
Also
bevel a
cool.
shirt.
If you see us out and about this fall, we are going to have stickers.
Yes.
To give out to folks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you catch us at games, things like that, we'll holler where we're at. Come find us. We got stickers for you.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have some
Next.
weird exclusive stickers if you meet us in person.
The sparkly ones, I am so excited about.
There's glitter involved. There's
so far each of us have unique stickers too. So if you
Yes.
meet all of us,
oh god,
it's like collecting the
the
Power
princess
Stones.
autographs.
it's kind of like trying to collect all the pieces from McDonald's Monopoly. You're not gonna win. You're not going to win. It doesn't matter.
It's because,
especially since to find me, you're going to have to go to a West Virginia game, idiots.
I mean, clearly I'm the boardwalk here. Like we can all agree on that.
Just go to Dallas. You'll find Jordan.
I'm rare and valuable. That's me. And so I think that's me.
Jordan!
I am Jordan. Thank you. Also, Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go to the places we will not. Do people pay for those message boards? Are there subscriptions?
There's subscriptions to those message
people
boards.
People go on to like subscribe to Tiger Droppings and just go on there and are miserable.
There was one guy that said, "Hey, he's talking about his bodily functions. He's about to go to the ER," and
that was great.
I'm like, dude, go to the ER. You don't need to post on whatever message board that was. I can't remember what fan that was, but.
It was a Texas fan. It was a Longhorn fan.
It was like, hey, I'm not feeling well, but I gotta post on the message board. My God.
I joke about that, but I'm pretty sure that if I need to go to the hospital, I would definitely post in the Discord like, you think this is something that I should go see the doctor for?
I get the Discord, that's fine. It's private. It's okay. Not tweeting or message board, that's fine. Whatever.
Well, the message board is ostensibly private too. That's the thing. Because people are paying for that. Part of the one of many reasons I am not on Panther Lair is that you have to pay for it. Also, there's the guy that thinks Helen Keller wasn't real. So.
We might need to expense.
There's one of those on every message.
We might
board.
need to expense you for this season a Panthers Lair.
Absolutely not. I will not.
I think it's time.
No.
Wasn't it the Sherman denial? Is it?
No.
If nominated, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve.
Yeah, that. Yep. Nope, I will not. Shout out to Panther Lair, the Twitter account, though. He's cool.
We have our Substack going. We have all sorts of fun long-form stuff on there. Kevin just put out a wonderful piece. Kevin, do you want to tell the people about it?
Oh, yeah, it was great.
I was still offended about the one of the most recent episodes that I was on with the 1982 New Mexico season, where they were denied a bowl game and played in heavy quotation marks the Justice Bowl against Tulsa, who was also a one-loss team that was not invited to a bowl. So I had a ranking metric that I started working on last year that I wanted to do bowl projections with and didn't get up and running in time. So I dusted that off and put the 1982 season into it and ranked everyone and made a whole bowl schedule and got both of them in there. And the Pennsylvanians on this podcast, since Danger is not here, will enjoy the Penn State slander of them falling from winning the national title game to the Gator Bowl.
Excellent.
Because of the way this worked out. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't have lost to a 600 Alabama team. I really don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you hate to see.
Yeah,
it.
there was some things that some folks wanted to mention about the post that you made, and then we didn't mention it on the podcast. No, it's just a slight thing. It would have been Bear Bryant's last game, so that was his last game regarding Alabama. So I know you slotted him in a different thing. They didn't get snubbed. It would have been Bear Bryant's last game in that season of 1982. So. Maybe there was a little bit of like, hey, it was Bear Bryant's last season and Penn State lost to Bear Bryant in his last season. That's why they maybe got the 1982, invite to the Sugar Bowl. They wanted to mention that, and they said that we didn't talk about that, so I have to talk about it.
There you go.
Do we have breaking news on the podcast?
We do have brand new breaking Lincoln Riley food update.
Oh no.
Check the Discord.
Let me save the picture before it deletes it.
This isn't
Oh
helping.
God.
I think it's
I'm scared.
I think it's fish.
Oh God,
think
I'm
it's-
scared.
I think it's
fish.
like tuna. It's like
Yes.
tuna or swordfish.
I don't know. It said epic catch, but I don't know what type of
Yeah.
fish it is, and he didn't put what type of fish it was. It looks
It's like a turducken, but it's a chick
it looks
steak.
kind of tuna.
But like sharp. Hey Lincoln, let's talk for a second. Hey Lincoln,
Looking.
hey buddy, sharpen your fucking knives, because
Yeah.
you have turned this into cat food. Even if you cooked it decently, which I think you did.
Maybe.
I mean, I prefer a little less like cook on the outside of my tuna steak. That's fine. I want it more like red all the way through, but that's me. That's cool. Sear off a little higher, Lincoln. But we got to talk about your knives, kid, because that right there, you fucking hacked at that fish. You hacked it.
Yeah, I don't eat fish, but like this looks enough like steak that I would try it, except for the fact that the knife murdered it.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
well, Lincoln, you're doing better.
Oh,
It's
no.
not the
Fish
brisket.
crumbles.
Oh no.
Can
We're
we
talking
also
about
talk
roasted.
about like the way that the drawers are under the countertop behind? What do you do
Those
with a
are-
drawer that shape?
Like a double
Okay.
decker drawer.
So
Put
those
pots in it.
drawers.
How many
are
crock
good-
pots,
Yeah,
Beth?
pots and pans.
Yeah,
How many
do you
crock-
need that many pots and pans? That's so many.
Think about who you're asking.
Okay, you are different.
Beth is
Also,
built
you
in
just
with
have
his-
crock
Yeah,
pots.
you
You
put
just
the
ordered
Skip
crock
Bayless
pots
vertical
specifically.
microwave in there.
Yeah, okay, so you don't put crock pots in drawers because you're going to break the alignment of the drawer, and then it's not going to open anymore. We put crock pots on shelves, and we also put them in closets, and we also put them on top of refrigerators, and sometimes we put them out on the porch, especially whenever it's cold out and we don't have enough room in the refrigerator for our crock pots.
My porch crock pot.
Yeah, and sometimes 3 of them live on top of the 5-gallon roaster. It's normal.
Well, when you have 9, you gotta find space for them.
Right.
And the crock pots get lonely if you store them separately.
Yeah, no, you have
Right.
to have them in pairs at least.
Yeah, 9 crock pots for the races of men.
One crock pot to rule them all, and in the
I was
darkness
gonna say,
find them.
what's the one ring of kitchen implements then?
It's just a big crock. It's a
my
larger crock.
it's my 5-gallon roaster. Happy.
And lastly, Sickos is partnered with Home Field Apparel. Yes, ha ha ha, yes. That's 3 ha's for 15% off for your first purchase. We have Oregon coming this week. We
Ooh.
also have, guys, did you see the train dunking the basketball?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yes.
No.
Let me drop it in the chat real fast.
Oh man.
It is.
It's awesome.
It is so good.
Oh, I see it.
There we go. It is. It looks like one of the old "Let's all go to the lobby" characters,
Yeah.
but it's a train slam dunking a basketball,
It's
and
great.
I love it.
That's amazing.
The cow catcher on it makes it look like it has a beard.
Yes, it's great. Like he's a pharaoh.
Yeah, no, it's very like Gilgamesh.
Thank you. That's exactly what it is.
If Gilgamesh was a train.
It's Engine Kidu.
We're getting obscure. Oh my god.
Hey,
Next
I
time
mean,
If
someone
Jordan
come-
wasn't already fixated on his episode title, then Engine Kidu would be incredible, and Beth would be able to continue her run with episode titles.
I mean, also, Jordan, you say we're obscure as though a podcast in which all of the hosts know what Nick Saban looks like could possibly be anything other than obscure.
It's true. The other one I posted in here, by the way, the Purdue Pete holding the Orange Bill trophy, also great because it looks like he's just about to have some orange juice for breakfast. It looks like a giant juicer.
I did also learn this afternoon that is a metal ingot embedded in his head and not one of those old timey like paper.
Oh
diner
yeah, no,
hats.
it's an ingot in his head. Yeah.
I don't know that that's better.
See, it's always been my headcanon that like he went to the Dirty O and it just has like a container on his head.
It could also be a slice of butter, like a stick of butter.
Pour one
Some
out
of them
for
are
the O.
very, very buttery. Yes.
God bless the O.
It's a taco joint now, and it makes me so sad.
That's horrible. I hate this.
Yeah,
We can't have nice things.
we really can't.
So now we go on to the best season of all time for teams who are below 500 all time.
Oh yeah.
Besatwaft 500 app, which apparently has great SEO.
It does.
SEO is our passion.
No one else is talking about this. It's just us. This is part 32 of our 40-part series. And Commish tonight is going to cover the Kent State, whatever they were called.
If there were the Golden Flashes.
Okay.
There were still the Golden Flashes.
But I've seen like Clippers, and I've seen a bunch of other
Okay,
stuff
the
too.
Clippers were just the Kent State Clippers. Just the hockey team was named the Kent State Clippers for some freaking reason. I have no idea why.
Uh-oh.
I have no idea.
I thought Commish.
Okay,
We
again,
were stuck again.
sorry,
But like
I was
for like half a second.
I was posting
Okay.
the bevel of whatever Lincoln Riley posted. So if you want to
My
try to
whole
bevel
screen
it
was just
further,
like
go right
5
ahead.
little loading things.
I was posting the bevel of the Lincoln Riley fish. So
Okay.
definitely.
You wouldn't bevel a fish.
I just did. But
Lincoln Riley.
You
I
can't
did a-
tuna. You can't tune a fish,
I
but you
did a-
can bevel a fish.
I did just bevel the Lincoln fish.
Hey, someone else has to make shitty puns on this podcast sometimes,
So,
Jordan.
hey, no. You see, I'm not mad at Pickerel for doing that. That's good stuff right there. That's good.
Hey, do you know my friend Clem?
No.
And we don't know his child either.
He has no children.
Does he
I'm gonna
does he
bury
have a
that-
daughter?
So I'm gonna have to. The thing is, like, I came up with that one. I realized that it was too obvious. So my Clemson pun's even worse than the one I'm working on. By the way, guys.
Oh no.
That one was too easy.
Too easy. So let's go Kent State. Kent.
I don't make
Ohio.
the easy jokes, guys. I work hard for
You
this.
work hard for the money. What money? That's right. Please use our code from home field. It helps us out. Back to the best season of all time for teams that were below 500 all time. Kent State, really looking at their history in Wikipedia, not great. Not great at all. They
Don't fucking say.
no, look. I'm just gonna be honest.
Imagine that.
Their program has been around for a while, a long time. And just looking at the Wikipedia, Kent State is the fourth worst. Now the three schools below them, Georgia State, Charlotte, and FIU, they haven't started their programs until after the year 2000. Kent State has been around since 1920.
We respect the commitment to the bit.
Yeah. So
As fellow committers to the bit.
yeah,
Mhm.
Kent State, again, I love the mascot, the Golden Flash. I love the nickname. It's fantastic. I understand they're in a part of Ohio. It's not necessarily full of money or whatever, but love the program. They're classic MAC. I root for them. I root for the underdog, and kind of in the Sickos committee, that's what I do here. So Kent State is probably the ultimate underdog in college football. In history, just looking at their Wikipedia. I want to give a shout out to 1940 Kent State. In their sixth season under head coach Donald Starn, the Golden Flashers compiled an 8-1 record and outscored all opponents by a combined total of 186-43. However, they lost to their arch rival Akron, so we can't have that as the best season of all time for them. Also, that year, they were ranked 265 out of 697 college football teams in the final rankings under the Lichtenhaus difference by score system for 1940. So the transitive property system, I guess, the Lichtenhaus different score system.
Did you know that Dr. Lichten actually had a son as well?
No.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, his son was named Dees.
Uh-oh.
So Dr. Lichten Dees.
Did I just ruin it? I don't care.
That's not how names work.
Okay, so he lived in a familial system where it was a family name first, given name last.
Sure.
That's how that works. See,
Let's weaponize anthropology. Sure.
John, let's go right ahead. So we'll continue with Kent State. We'll stop the bad. Jordan he's just trying to do stuff right now. So I want to give a shout out to the 2012 Kent State team. They were 11-1, but they ended their season on two bummers. They just missed a BCS bowl bid by losing to Northern Illinois in the MAC championship game in double overtime, 44-37.
oh,
And then they lost to Arkansas State in the GoDaddy.com Bowl in Mobile, Alabama.
agile, mobile, virile.
Agile, Mobile, virile. That's right.
Follow us on LinkedIn.
Follow us on LinkedIn. Sickos Committee. We post for you. In Kent State's history, they have only won one conference championship,
No.
and that was in 1972. They were 6-5-1, and they won the
That is-
MAC.
That's Mac as shit.
That's Mac as hell.
Peak Mac.
You better have fucking hung the banner. You have to hang that
They
banner.
have it. And there's plenty of photos for them going crazy for this, which we'll get to.
Good.
Now, in 1973, they had a better season, and they finished 9-2, best winning percentage of all time. Both of these seasons kind of run together. So, since Kent State is one of our lowest ranked here, I'm gonna kind of do 2 seasons in one here. We did it for Akron. We did 29 and 69, but for Kent State, I'm gonna do 72 and 73 back to back. Making an executive decision. This is commission's call here. Just want to give a shout out to the 1972 team that actually won their only conference championship, and then essentially their best team of all team the year after that unfortunately did not win a conference championship. Their head coach was Don James. He was born in Massillon, Ohio, or is it Massillon? I have no idea.
Massillon?
That sounds good.
Ooh, that's
Massillon.
Sure.
That's right. He played for the Miami Hurricanes as a quarterback and defensive back from 1951 through 1953. After his time playing for the Hurricanes, he was an assistant coach at Kansas, Florida State, Michigan, and Colorado. In 1971, he landed his first head coaching gig at Kent State, just 1 year after the Kent State Massacre, which if you don't know what that is, you can look it up. I don't want to go into detail. It is a pretty tragic event. He was there at Kent State through 1974, where he had a record of 25-19-1 in 4 years. There, he coached future NFL great Hall of Famer Jack Lambert as a linebacker, current college head coach Mr. Nicholas Saban of Alabama, and former head coach of Mizzou, Gary Pinkel. During his 4 seasons at Kent, the Golden Flashes won their only MAC title in 1972 and played in their first bowl game, the Tangerine Bowl. They did not win that game, but they did not win their first bowl game until 2019.
Jesus.
Yes.
Christ. Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. So the 1973 posted the best record in program history winning percentage-wise, 11-3. I'm sorry, 9-2, 11-3 winning percentage is less than 9-2, apparently from what I can tell. After 1974, Don James moved to the Washington Huskies, and he was there from 1975 to 1993, winning a national title, a share of it, of course, in 1991. If you want to be mad at someone for getting Nick Saban into coaching, you can blame Don James. If you're glad that Nick Saban is coaching now, you can thank Don James. Wherever you fall, Don James is essentially the man that got Nick Saban into coaching.
Okay, so in this Command and Conquer Red Alert timeline, go back in my time machine. We don't try to kill Nick Saban as a baby. We try to take out Don James to correct the timeline.
Birthday.
There's more here. I'll give you this. So, I mean, you may not have to take out Don James. You may be able to, do something else instead. So, Don James offered Saban something. The rest is history, of course. James coached Saban during his last 2 years as a player at Kent State. In 1972, Kent State won its only MAC championship and went to its only bowl game. At the time, they've been to more since then. Saban said, "I didn't want to grow up. I didn't grow up wanting to be a coach." He recognized that, and he asked me to be a coach, to be a graduate assistant, when I didn't have any intentions of being that. So Don James basically talked Nick Saban into being a grad assistant for Kent State. Saban said, "The only reason I did it was that my wife had another year of school, so I couldn't move and take a job. I had to stay there and do something. So I did it. I really enjoyed it and continued to do it, got hired full-time, and went on from there." If you want to take out Don James, you can take out Don James, but maybe
It's Terry.
maybe
Miss Terry.
got to take out the wife at the time. I don't know. That's up to you.
I gotta get Miss Terry. Okay. Actually, I'm way more afraid of
Oh
Miss Terry.
no,
I'm
that
way
will
more
not work.
afraid of Miss Terry than I am of Nick. Let's be real honest here.
Yeah. All right. So there's also stuff in there. It says if Miss Terry wasn't still in school, he would have been selling cars or whatever. Which Nick Saban's got.
Yeah, he has a business degree.
Yes. Kent State went 9-2 in 1973, which was Nick's first season as a graduate assistant. If you want to give Don James some credit, along with Nick being a grad assistant, producing Kent State's best season of all time, winning percentage-wise. Famous players again on the 1972 team and 1973 team: Hall of Famer Jack Lambert, which, I mean, he didn't have any front teeth, which is incredible.
Huh.
And I love this helmet. This helmet is phenomenal, which I know they brought it back
that
in like a
KFC
yellow
helmet, yeah.
version, but it's amazing. And then former Missouri coach Gary Pinkel as a tight end. So you can see him in action on the right hand
This
side.
helmet. So this helmet has 3 horizontal bars and 1 vertical bar that comes down in front of the nose, and the shape of it almost looks like I you can superimpose one of those rubber horse masks over the top of it,
I was thinking like Shredder's face.
or that.
It's very catcher's mask, also.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a fearsome, but I mean, Hall of Famer Jack Lambert getting drafted by Pittsburgh to be a part of the Steel Curtain, very fitting. I'll just say that. Like that was probably one of the most intense linebackers of all time, and growing up watching those old NFL films where they had all the music and stuff, and then just seeing the Steel Curtain defense with Jack Lambert in the middle of it, along with Jack Ham. I honestly could not remember that Jack Lambert was a part of Kent State in this time frame. So I want to go to the 1972 schedule because I'm doing 2 years for Kent State. September 9th at Akron, which was not a conference game at the time. They tied Akron 13-13.
That's Mac as hell. Jesus.
So I don't know what
13-13 tie
happens
against
if you
Akron.
battle for the wagon wheel. Like, do they both get half of the wheel if you tie?
You gotta meet at Dairy Queen every 6 months and trade it
You
off.
got
or
to trade it
something,
off.
yeah.
That's right. So there's
Tie me, mama, like a wagon wheel.
they lost at Louisville 34-0. They beat Ohio 37-14. They lost to San Diego State at home 14-0. They lost to Western Michigan 13-12. They
Who
won.
among us?
They won 14-10 at Bowling Green. They beat Xavier out of Ohio 26-16. They lost at Northern Illinois, which again at that time not a conference game because the Mid-American Conference only existed of Kent State, Bowling Green, Western Michigan, Miami, Ohio, Toledo, and Ohio.
Yeah.
So
They were small back then.
it was very small back then.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, they won at Marshall 16-14 with unlevel goalposts. They won at Miami, Ohio 21-10. And then to win the MAC at Dick Stadium in Kent, they beat Toledo. I have thrown in a YouTube link of the Kent State at Toledo thing. There is sound. It's about 3 minutes long. I don't know how far you want to go through it, but there is sound with some highlights of the game, and it is 1970s as hell.
Let me fold in part of it. Sorry. I've got too many things on my desk and I can't see the little icons at the bottom of my screen.
Oh my god. So many tabs.
No, this is like actual cups on my desk. I have like 4 cups on my desk.
What are cups on your desk if not physical tabs?
Oh, while I'm loading this, I meant to ask you the other day,
Are your cups full of tab?
how many things do you think try to start up with my computer every time I open it?
Oh god, too many.
I'm to 12 programs that try to start up.
How do you even? What could you possibly need?
I don't actually. It's actually even better because it's 2 versions of OneCloud that I use neither of them. So I should just uninstall them, but I don't. One's from my teaching job that I have not been at in 3 years at this point.
How has your computer not just given up?
I don't know. Here we go. This is Kansas State and Toledo. Not Kansas State.
Jesus
Oh shit. Kansas State and Toledo.
We still haven't done K-State, which we will get to.
Toledo in their last game of the regular season. Toledo had won 3 consecutive
Oh yeah, look at
conference
those.
rounds, and
Look
even
at those
though they
pigtails.
couldn't win this time around, they could well have played the spoilers role. 20,715 fans, the largest crowd in the history of Kent football, was on hand this day to see if the Flashes could put it all together and win their first conference championship. They weren't to be disappointed, as the James gang had
You
really
said
matured,
70s. This looks like the
particularly many of
60s.
younger
No, this
players
70s
and
is
were
hell.
And the
man.
narrator is very like
Kent
Like
World War II
1940s.
newsreel.
Yeah.
off against Miami. As again, it's Alonzo Curry picking off an interception to stop a rocket drive on
I'm gonna
Kent's
skip towards the
14-yard
end.
line.
Oh, the end is the best, probably. I'll just say that. So that was a catch by Gary Pinkel at the end there. You can see that. And then they plunged in to put this game away to beat Toledo 27-9. Boom. MAC championship.
I like the
seal.
Kent and the diamond
Yeah.
logo.
Look at that old school.
Oh, that's great.
It's great. Watch what happens.
And the
Down
moment
goes the
Oh,
goalpost.
God.
There's
All
the
Goalposts.
right.
Champions
Everybody's
at
throwing
last.
things, running on the field.
It ended with a fine 4-1 record in the
Oh, my
MAC
God.
and finished at 6-4-1
This is a hell of a
overall.
field rush.
Yeah.
It has the same energy as the Tulane
And it
field
was on
rush.
to Orlando as
Or the
fans
Tennessee field
all over the
rush.
field indicate that the Tangerine
They're
Bowl
throwing
game
tangerines
is
on the
next.
field right now because they're going to the Tangerine Bowl, which I don't know. Like,
Hey, Kirk, can you give me some tangerines? No, these are fucking oranges. I said no goddamn oranges. Is that a Satsuma?
Where are you going to get a tangerine in 1972 in Ohio?
At the
Enough to throw them.
Market?
I
There's ain't no way the IGA is going to have that. Forget it.
I don't know. It's 1972, not like 1872.
there's supermarkets at the time, so likely.
Just throw any random citrus. What's
I mean,
the
it's
Yeah,
orange.
Nobody-
they're
it's
all
gonna tell.
orange. It's
Nobody's
fine.
gonna whatever.
Is this
So-
a fucking Buddha hand?
So I got some pictures of Coach Don James on the sideline, and then there's the handsome Nick Saban defensive back, number 12 for Kent
He
State.
was good looking.
Yeah, I mean, he's a looker.
I'll say it.
I'll say it. I mean, hey, he's got that
Those
nice little.
sideburns?
He's got the burns working for him. He's got a little, got a good jawline going for him.
Does that jawline's real sharp?
That's right. There's some fans. I love this picture, where it just says "We want the Mac" with like a sign in the stands, and just like these older folks just really really enjoying it. They called the
The
team.
guy in the overcoat is standing so awkward.
It is. It's so great.
And the hat too.
Yes.
It's a look.
It is a look. It is 1972. Amazing. So they called the team the James Gang. And so they took a picture of it. They did do a reunion in 2012. The photo of the 1972 Tangerine Bowl team. There's a picture, a black and white
You
photo.
go
of
to your
them.
reunion and Nick fucking Saban is there.
Yeah,
like,
like-
well, what did you do? Oh, I've got a successful car dealership outside of Kent. What do you do? I'm Nick Saban.
Come on down to
Wait.
Nick Saban Hyundai of Kent.
How many national titles would have Nick Saban had in 2012? So he'd had the one with LSU.
3?
We had another one with Bama in 09, right?
Yeah, that
Okay.
was the first.
Did he go back to back? No, 2010 was Cam Newton.
Yes, 2010 was Auburn.
2003, 2009,
Right, it's
2011,
back-to-backs.
2012.
So he would have had 4 essentially if they did that reunion,
Yeah.
or on his
Yes.
way to 4. He would have had 3 on his way to 4 with that reunion if he could attend it.
12, yeah. He was on his way.
He was
to
on his
his
way to his 4th. So yeah, Coach, it's great. I love the black and white photo of them toppling the goalpost after defeating Toledo
It is great.
to go 6-4-1 and win their only MAC championship. They knew. The fans knew. They knew it. And they celebrated it. Again, this is why we never chide anybody from storming on the field. Storm on the field. Do it all the time.
Yeah.
You have no idea what the future will hold. Live in the moment. Love it. Storm in it. I don't care, Tennessee, what happens next year if y'all win a national title. I'm just glad you stormed the field and threw the goalposts in the river. Do it. I don't care. It is the best. It is great. Live in the moment. Live for the now. You have no idea what the future holds. I also put a picture of the Kent State cheerleaders. I love the guy's hat
Yeah.
right in the middle with like the K for Kent State. And
It's great.
he's got somebody on his, he's got a cheerleader on his shoulders, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm just chilling here with somebody on my shoulder. But it's a great hat.
In his houndstooth bell bottoms.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah.
Yes.
Also, like,
Like with the most, like he's holding up a cheerleader while contrapposto.
I also like the guy to his left who is just not like he's holding up he's structural support only. He's holding up a cheerleader. He is not looking at the camera.
That's right.
It's just there.
I'm just doing my job as a cheerleader. So hold on, slow down. Quick detour for some mascot talk.
Yes.
Ooh.
Mascot talk. Here we
The
go.
fuck is this?
Kent
Oh my
State.
god, what?
Let's do it. From 1968 to 1974, Grog, the caveman. The caveman character from the popular comic BC arrives on the scene. Conceived of in the spring of 1967 by Joe Joyce, who is a graduate in 1969, and Gene Ferrara, graduate in 1974, of the Chestnut League, revamped the Spirit organization formed in 1964. He didn't show up at games until the fall of 1968. In the meantime, Chuck Ayers and cartoonist for the Daily Kent Starter requested permission to use Grog as Kent State's mascot from its creator, cartoonist Johnny Hart. The 8-foot-tall, 50-pound costume is made of
Jesus
wood
Christ.
supports and
Oh my God.
furry cloth by Esser Costume Company of Pittsburgh for $500. Quote from then Kent State baseball player Ron DeGran, 1974. It was heavy and it was hot. He wore the costume from 1970 through 1972 at both football and basketball games. I would be wringing wet after a basketball game, but nobody could figure out what a flash was, so Grog was as good as mascot as any.
Disagree with this good mascot as any.
I kind of love him.
I can't imagine how bad that thing smells.
Oh, like a wet, sweaty dog. Oh God.
He would have been friends with the weird Virginia mascot from a few weeks ago.
Oh, the Who?
The Who. Yep.
I approve of any mascot where an undergrad can store their laundry in its nose.
Detachable laundry bag. It's perfect.
Kent State, you're going to have to bring back the Grog. Like, this is the most successful period of your football history. From 1968 to
I
1974.
need this thing on the field with Big Red at the same
Grog
time.
and
Oh
Big
my God.
Red need to be on the field at the Bahamas Bowl next year. Done.
Wearing a 50-pound wooden structured mascot costume in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm picturing Big Red going down the slide in Atlantis, and I desperately need this in my life.
Do you think Big Red's scene resistant?
I want you to
You think
imagine like
Big-
Grog's nose just flapping in the breeze.
Oh, just like
They've had to have Big Red Scotch guarded, right?
have to.
Like, I mean, he's got to be waterproof, right?
Is he dry clean only? Big Red in?
You know, there's only one way to find out.
Get our own?
Mhm.
No, and we get sued.
We have to go. No, we have to go meet Big Red.
Meet Big
Obviously.
Red
Oh, yeah.
in the Bahamas Bowl with Grog in Kent State next year.
What are Grog's arms?
Lifeless objects, apparently.
What the
Noodle.
What the
Noodle.
Like,
There's no way there's arms in those arms.
No, they're just flinging.
Because the human shoulder isn't 9 feet wide.
Are you sure?
Those are just structural arms.
I just
Vestigial
want
arms.
I want
Decorative arms.
I want to be a Discord person that is paid for our Patreon to come look at this no context image of just Grog standing with the Kent State band right now.
the one with the band is
It is
incredible.
amazing.
With the bones like stapled to the side of its head.
And his tongue hanging out.
If you asked a 3-year-old to draw a mascot, this is what you're going to get. This is like the artists that take a 3-year-old drawing and just flesh it out. That's what happens.
Grog says blip.
This is a full-on mlem.
He looks like you asked someone to design a distant ancestor of the Flintstones.
Yeah.
I like the band picture because its nose like has like sub noses. Like there's 5 other bumps on there that could be discrete noses.
Any more Grog comments before I continue?
Can we read the blurb directly under the picture on the website?
Do it.
Read it.
Despite misadventures when the costume temporarily goes missing several times, Grog continues to amuse fans until 1974 when he was phased out as mascot by the athletic department. He still shows up as a logo on bookstore bags for years afterwards.
Oh my God. I
just
gotta
love the idea of somebody stealing this and hiding it in their dorm room.
Home field.
Yes, home field. Home field, please. Please.
Gotta get a Grog
Give
logo
us the
somewhere.
Grog Kent State Grog. I think we follow Kent State. I don't know if Kent State follows us.
Find out.
Well, we'll
Home field, we need this.
we need it for sure.
Put it on joggers, put it on a shirt, put it on everything.
Groggers.
So let's go to let's
Oh.
continue the end of 1972 here. So they go to the Tangerine Bowl. I found a copy of the Tangerine Bowl that Jack Lambert signed. So it's Kent State University versus Tampa. So the Tampa's school that no longer has a football team. They did lose the Tangerine Bowl to the University of Tampa. The star on the University of Tampa's football team was a future wrestler by the name of Paul Orndorff. He's also known as Mr. Wonderful. So I don't know if
Okay.
anybody knows Mr. Wonderful, but yes, he played for Tampa, and he did score the game-winning touchdowns as Tampa leaped out to a 21-0 lead in the first half. Kent State fought back valiantly, but fell short, 21-18. Just look at these stats from the Tangerine Bowl. Just look. Just read what jumps out to you in this case.
Boy,
Kent State passing offense goes burr.
Okay.
Tampa's rushing offense also goes burr.
Kent State with 4 fumbles, losing 4. Tampa with 4 fumbles, losing 3.
Yes.
Was it raining?
I haven't gotten confirmation. It was not a great.
Spiritually.
So the Tangerine Bowl was basically in Orlando. So it was the one that eventually became, I think, the Pop-Tarts Bowl now.
Sure.
I think that's right. So it used to be, it wasn't the Citrus, but it was the other bowl in Orlando.
Okay.
So yes, the Tangerine Bowl, basically there. Yes. So Tampa had 240 yards rushing. Kent State had 313 yards passing, but both of them, there was 7 fumbles there was 8 fumbles in the game, and 7 of those were lost. So
Citrus Bowl. This is the Citrus Bowl.
it was a Citrus. Okay. So let's go to 1973, which
So you're saying that we're done with 1972?
yes.
Before we do that,
Okay.
I'd like to show you guys in the chat real fast about facts about the newest Flash,
Yes.
the mascot. I do want to read 1 or 2 things here. First off, actually, the last one is the only one I care about. This bullet point: each suit is washed after use if the event is over 1 hour in length. And the bicycle's helmet inside the Flash head is disinfected once a week, as are the feet. And the fur on both the head and the suit is brushed 2 to 3 times per month or as needed. So Flash is fresh. Just need everyone to know that. So if you get Flash, you'll be fresh. You're muted, big girl.
Muted.
You're muted, big girl.
All I said was, I do always want my flashes to be fresh.
You do. You don't want a stinky Flash.
You don't want a stinky Flash. Don't do it.
Oh, by the way, Commish, I pulled those 2 pages out of the yearbook and put them below.
Perfect. I gave you the link of the yearbook, which is fantastic. So to 1973, which they had their best record of all time winning percentage wise. I have the yearbook. The yearbook was called the Burr. It was called the Chestnut.
Pass and game go Burr.
So it was called the Chestnut Burr. And so I have the link of the yearbook if you want to click on it. The football starts at page 160. And there's a lot of stuff from page 172. So the homecoming, it shows the dynamics of life. Here's just a picture of the Kent State cheerleaders, the fans, and everything like that, and just enjoying everything. The 1973 team, I'm just going to read what the yearbook wrote here. So 1973 was a banner year for Kent State football. Head coach Don James and his Golden Flashes were victors 9 times, including a 21-7 Super Saturday triumph over Bowling Green, a game which many thought would decide the Mid-American Conference Championship. But later that season, Miami, which had stormed through its first 8 games without a loss, came to be ranked 17th in the nation to face Kent's 19th ranked Flashes for the MAC title. The contest was appropriately tagged Super Saturday 2. More than 27,000 fans, a record crowd, jammed into Dick's Stadium to peer through a driving snow for the Golden Flashes and made their bid for Kent's second straight conference championship. But it was not to be. Miami's powerful defense, ranked number 2 in the nation, stymied Kent State's high-octane offense, and the Red Hawks returned home to Oxford with a 20-10 victory and the Mid-American Conference title. The loss was a crushing blow to the Flashes and to their fans. It had been a valiant effort by the Flashes, though. They had been pitted against a Miami squad which went on to finish the season undefeated 10-0 and was ranked 15th nationally at season's end. The Flashes were able to quickly bounce back after the devastating defeat, but the fans never recovered. It's very depressing.
Oh, God.
Like, it's just, Kent State fans just,
they have like consumption.
we're never
Jesus.
going to recover. Just done. They were in mourning, like Downton Abbey style. They just dressed in all black for like months after that. They were no longer the Golden Flashes. They were just wearing all black all the time.
We were the beige Flashes for 3 years.
A week after losing the championship, the Flashes traveled to Toledo where they ripped the Rockets 51-16. When the best Flash team in history, 9-2, returned home for their final game the following weekend, they ran onto the field to the cheers of almost no one. By the game time,
Holy shit!
yes.
There were 3,000 people there.
By the game time, there were only 3,870 fair-weather fans, many of whom
Oh my
left
God.
before the game ended. Kent handily won the contest, beating Central Michigan 28-7, despite the lack of support, which prompted Coach James to lament, "I'd like to take this team somewhere where they would be appreciated."
Oh fuck! Oh
Ooh.
fuck!
And that's in the yearbook.
Go off, King.
Go off, Don James. Rest in peace. Even more disappointment was to come. Players, coaches, and fans alike expressed disillusionment. I can't say this word. When a well-deserved postseason bowl invitation never came. Thus, a team which had almost completely rewritten the Kent record books and had outscored its opponents 299 to 131, finished a long season unheralded and seemingly unappreciated. We appreciate you, 1973 Kent State. We appreciate
do.
you.
That's so dark. Oh my God!
Yes.
I just want to hug someone.
Spirits were lifted somewhat when Coach James announced that he would definitely be back for next season, dispelling rumors that he would leave to take a higher-paying, more prestigious job. So even with the loss of 16 seniors from this year's squad, there's reason to be confident that the Golden Flashes will again be in the thick of the title race in the coming season.
Did that happen?
Yeah, that was kind of like they finished 7-4 in 1974. Not really a bad year. They finished like third in the MAC at 7-4 overall, 2-3 in the MAC. Just not necessarily. It's just amazing. They lost to Miami, and then they lost like the entire fan base, which was incredible.
So sad.
Very sad. So that's why I kind of wanted to do both, because their best team of all time was just not appreciated. Like, this is 9-2. So what? You lost the MAC. It's okay. It's okay. So their two losses that year, they lost 17-9 out there in San Diego against San Diego State. And they lost that game in the crazy snowy conditions against an undefeated Miami, Ohio team, 20-10 in the snow. So classic Maction. So I did post a couple of things from the yearbook. It said, my favorite headline is like, Kent offense, they do it. And then the next page, it says, Kent defense, they undo it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That Jack Lambert quote is some really football guy
This is
stuff there
definitely,
too.
I mean, Jack Lambert, Hall of Famer, you have to be mentally ready for the game. You may only be 170 pounds, but on game day, if you are mentally prepared, you can hit like 270 pounds. Jack Lambert.
That's not true.
Jack
That's
Lambert
not how
I'm
physics
not
works.
much more than 170 pounds, and I cannot hit like 270.
Jack Lambert
and
is
it
out
might be
here-
mental,
He
but
is thinking heavy thoughts.
Okay.
Thinking heavy thoughts works. Anyone who has tried to pick up a toddler who does not want to be picked up knows
That is
that
true.
thinking heavy thoughts works.
Yeah, the thick was inside you all along.
I don't think the strategy of just go limp works on
I
a
was
football
going to just say,
field,
I was
though.
going to imagine of like, okay, I'm going to think heavy. Go limp.
Fainting goat football. Let's do it.
You die for the first down, or you just go limp, and then you pick up the first down. I do want to say in the yearbook, there was something that was just absolutely amazing. There is something.
It's so good.
It is so
What
good.
is this?
All right. I'm gonna say, this is a part in the yearbook. It says, above linebacker Byron Fillmore, dressed in full battle gear, awaits his
What
chance to
is
get in on the
this?
action. O Caesar, we who are about to die salute you, was the gladiator's cry in the arena, standing face to face with death and the Roman populace.
That's
Guys, it's not that serious.
It was
Yeah,
Kent State
guys,
football.
you're playing MAC football in the 70s, guys.
But this is so the picture here is of this linebacker who was wearing bandages over his nose and his forehead under his helmet.
Yeah, this tape job reminds me vividly of something, and I cannot place
It
it. And
looks
it's been
Twilight
bothering me for
Zone.
2 days.
It looks kind of like those like plastic faceplate things that basketball players sometimes wear when
Yeah.
they've like recently broken their nose or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's entirely made out of tape.
I do want to give a shout out. I was looking for another quote about the Central Michigan game, see if there was one in the newspaper, but there is something good I found here. apparently one reason that the Chippewas came to play in that last game was that earlier in the week they had received a bid to play in a postseason game against Louisiana Tech. The only requirement was for them to win their game against Kent State. Kept your fucking rivals out of a bowl.
Ayo.
Sometimes
Mhm.
9-2 and keeping your rivals out of a bowl, sometimes that's good enough.
Sometimes 5-7 is, and keeping your rivals out of the bowl is good enough.
Son of a bitch.
Can't escape it. Can't escape.
Can't escape it.
Just-
You can never
Jordan
let it go.
sets him up and I knock him down.
Oh.
Yeah, who among us has not lost to Western Michigan in one of our best seasons of all time?
True
No
facts.
clue.
True facts. I deserve that.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Golden Flashes, for your amazing year. Congrats, Nick Saban, for that being, clearly the high water mark of your football career. Nothing good have happened after that.
No, nothing. I mean, Saban when
Nope.
he done. He was done.
Look, you go to a Tangerine Bowl, and it's all downhill from there.
Pretty much. I mean, he never went to another Tangerine Bowl again.
If you guys didn't look in the chat and scroll up a little bit to see that Kevin found the drawing of Grog, and it's as good as you think it is.
Oh, that needs to be on all the shirts.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, no,
I will
it's the
recreate.
most home field thing of all time.
I'll make a
so
bootleg
much.
version for us to use because I love him so much.
Yeah.
Because he
looks
also
like
needs to
he
go
would-
on all the.
He looks like he would be best friends with the Slippery Rock Pimp Rock. I love him so much.
He does.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
I'm not certain that they didn't skin him to cover the pimp rock, but
Oh God, that's what happened
That
to
was the
him.
fur coat.
Pimp Rock is definitely
Rock's fur
wearing
coat.
the Grog costume.
Okay, no, I remember Grog from BC, that comic.
I'm
that
also
I nev-
wearing
that I
Pimp
never
Rock
read.
right now.
Here we go. I found some pictures of Grog, the original Grog.
Yep.
He's a little changed.
Oh, I've seen this before.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. I used to read comics like way back in the day, and like
I mean, BC veered wildly from linguistics humor to like very Christian content.
oh, that's right. It
Yeah.
went really heavy on like yes, it went very heavy Christian sometimes. Well, folks, I think that's what we got for tonight. Kamish, thank you for introducing us to the Kent State Golden Flashes of the Times. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Hey, I just want to say this. I want to. One thing I want to say.
The commitment to the bit has been
great.
incredible, and I respect you so much for
Amazing.
it.
Fantastic, Ben. Great job. I want to leave us with a quote.
They're gonna take my degree.
I want to leave us with
After
a
I
quote
edited together,
from
yeah.
the Kent State yearbook, and this is from the quarterback at the time. It was Greg Kokel. This is an inspirational quote from the yearbook. Things go bad on the field, but you got to get up and fight back. That is what life is all about.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jordan. Happy birthday to you.